Coming up next is a session with senior journalist Ajay Singh. He is the current press secretary to the President of India, a position he has been holding since September 2019. He is also the author of a book titled The Architect of the New BJP, where he uses in-depth research and concrete examples to explain how the BJP has transformed over the last decade. A few of you have already picked up copies of the book. There are more available outside at the counter. In fact, we also have the book in Hindi language now, which is available at the counter outside. So you're welcome to pick up your copies. A senior journalist with over 35 years of experience, Mr. Ajay Singh has worked in various capacities from reporter to bureau chief, political editor, and editorial director with some of the top news organizations, including the Times of India, the Economic Times, the Telegraph, the Pioneer, Star TV, Sahara TV, NewsX, Governance Now, and First Post. Today, as he joins us for Spectra, he will delve deeper into the topic of his book for a few minutes. And then joining him on stage after his address will be Rohit Bansal, Group Head of Communications at Reliance Industries. Mr. Singh, may we have you on stage, please?
Well, I just saw the session and I don't think it will be as interesting as the previous one. But in any case, first of all, I am grateful to organizers, my friend Amit Prabhu, for inviting me to speak on this subject, which is inferred from my book, The Architect of the New BJP. I would not have conceived a better company than Rohit Bansal ji, who is entrusted with the onerous task of guiding this talk to a meaningful conversation on the skills of management, a discipline with which I am least acquainted with. So I'll squarely bank on Rohit to make the complexities of the management easy for us too. Why did I choose to write on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's organizational skills? Since 1985, I have been an active journalist covering many facets of Indian society. What I found quite fascinating is the capability of the human being to make associations and collaborate for common good. Political parties are no different from any human organizations. Rather, they thrive on the bond of trust, perseverance, and move broadly on a moral compass, which is quite akin to ideology. Here I am not referring to ideology which are subversive in nature. Even such ideologies do have association and common goal which they perceive to be for common good. During the freedom struggle, Mahatma Gandhi was rightly credited with turning All India Congress from an elite body of English-speaking nobility to an organization oriented to mass politics. He employed a language which was comprehensible to common people and opened the door for everyone to join the party. In a way, he introduced a methodology through which the Congress grew into a mass organization. The Congress legacy became so strong that it sustained the party for over 6 decades. Even now, it retains a powerful social base across the country. On the other hand, the BJS and its later incarnate, the BJP, was a phenomenon confined to Hindi heartland. In late 60s, the party grew strong in Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal and Rajasthan, and gained some toeholds in UP. But the party has a unique ability to adapt itself to new emerging situation. For instance, the Jansangh merged its identity with Janata Party and gained an experience in mass mobilization. Similarly, the BJP aligned itself with VP Singh in 1989 when people revolted against corruption in high places, particularly with reference to Bofor's payoff. What is particularly interesting is that despite this merger and alignment with disparate political forces and ideologies, the BJP did not dilute its identity of being distinctly different from others. It has maintained the image of a party run by a committed cadre of people who are motivated by higher goals of social good. That was not a mean achievement, yet the growth of the BJP was confined to a certain geographical regions. In 2014, the BJP started coming out of these limitations. The consolidation of party support base in Hindi heartland was phenomenal. Subsequently, it expanded to eastern and northeastern parts which were inaccessible. Across the Vindhya range, Karnataka came under complete influence, though other parts of the southern India remained inaccessible. Now you can see there is a determined attempt to make inroads into those southern regions with visible results. This incredible expansion of the BJP's influence across the country has no parallel in post-independent Indian history. How has this come about? You know, the socialist, communist and Jansangh had started their political journey at the same time. Communist and socialist had acquired greater political space compared to Jansangh. But in 2024, the BJP seems to have acquired the pole position which is quite similar to the one which Congress occupied in 1950s. The BJS or BJP is a political party of organization builders. Right from Deen Dayal Upadhyay to Kushabhau Thackeray and LK Advani, there has always been an emphasis on organization, organization and organization. No doubt the party owes it to these organizations builders a lot. Prime Minister Modi's employed conventional and unconventional methods of expansion. In conventional methodology, the BJS and the BJP initially expanded through cadre mobilization, co-opting notable persons, and aggregation of social groups like castes. So the cadre was the bedrock on which the foundation is built. These methods are still relevant, but Modi introduced unconventional techniques of party building which are irrespective of ideological background. He co-opted persons with exceptional capabilities. You have many instances of people from bureaucracy doing excellent work as political executives. Similarly, you also have a case of Himant Biswa Sharma, who came from a different political background and later turned out to be a big asset, political asset for the BJP. I can give you many examples of unconventional methods of party building, but what is particularly important is the manner in which he managed to align the government programs with the party's priorities. It has always been difficult for the party in power and the government to work in tandem. This incredible feat has been seamlessly achieved by the BJP. This is the precise reason for me to surmise that the BJP has acquired a unique pole position from where it will continue to dominate the Indian political scene for decades to come. With these words, I rest my case. Thank you.
Hi. So some of you have the book some of it, as was mentioned by the organizer, is some of the copies are there outside. You know, I had some trouble convincing the author to talk of management lessons, but I find that for an audience like this, or for that matter any other, the management lesson is self-evident, and I'll cite only the author in single inverted commas because he's spoken to Mr. Modi a few times, I'm told, for this book. He says in single inverted commas that I will leave no stone unturned for the benefit of the people and the nation. Second, I will do nothing for personal gain. Third, I may make bona fide mistakes, but won't do anything with bad intentions. These three messages from Modi seems to have hit home, not only with the ever-growing party cadre, but also among the party's support base. Now, this is relevant to any CEO or any organization that is hoping to bounce back from the depths that the BJP had sunk in 1984 to the place that it is today. You have to leave no stone unturned for the people or the shareholder or the stockholder. You will do nothing for personal gain, and you may make bona fide mistakes but won't do it with bad intentions. So the management case is self-evident. It's not just that we are here to extol one individual or a leadership that India has chosen to have, but it's true for all organizations, I suppose, Ajay.
Yes, you're right. There is a general impression that political parties grow out of nothing. It is individual charm or individual appeal that drives the party. That is a wrong impression. In fact, the first book I read on the party building was by Myron Weiner. It was about the Congress. And he writes in the book that like any human organization, party is built. It is quite akin to building an army or any other human organization. Then I started reading about it more, and then I found that it's true. Party building is something which is very essential in a democratic politics, and it requires a lot of skill. And that skill, well, I'll not compare it to corporation building, but you're absolutely right when you say that it's the skills that are employed in party building are as relevant in party building as in any other human organization.
And since you mentioned Myron Weiner, I'm tempted to again draw you towards the relevance of this conversation in a managerial context. Weiner himself has said that the leader has three key functions, ladies and gentlemen. He is first, he or she is first the, in this case, yes, he is the compromiser of factional disputes. Second, he is the source of prestige to the members of the party. Third, he is an absolute source for the articulation of values held by the group. And he may, as Gandhi did, articulate a new set of rules. So, in a word, again, I think that the organizational context is not lost. You inherit an organization and then you take it to a completely different context and case and scale. So what are those skills, if you can tell us in brief, which you have alluded to as well in your address?
Well, it is very difficult to explain it as point number 1, 2, 3, but I have given so many examples in the book. If you read it, you will find it out that in 1989, there was an election of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. So he won that election, 88 or 89, if I'm not wrong. He developed AMC, governance of the AMC as the model of the governance. So through AMC, what he did in AMC, that is exactly what he did as state chief minister. And you will be surprised if you read it carefully, you will find that most of those experiments have been replicated at the national level as well. So That is one. I mean, he gave a model of governance which used to be perceived by people as ideal. So that is one. Apart from this, the unconventional method of co-option of people, like co-opting those who are not from the same ideological background, but still they are very important. So you may have seen, as I mentioned in my remarks, opening remark, that he has co-opted many people who had no similar ideological background. They are from bureaucracy and they are doing excellent work as political executive. So this is the way in which he expanded the party. And apart from this, populist measures and this mobilization of cadre, those are the conventional methods which are normally employed, which BJP has been employing all along.
Right, so I'll move to a quick audience quiz here, since I'll give you a quote, ladies and gentlemen, and then you have to tell me who has said it. I'll give you one or two options also if you so insist, but just hear this out. Our party is open to all citizens of India, irrespective of caste, creed, and community. Ajay is not allowed to answer this. It would be a fatal mistake to confine the membership of a political party in free India to sections of people based on caste, community, and religion. Equality of rights of Indian citizens, irrespective of any consideration, forms the basis of the Constitution, as indeed it has been a primary characteristic of any democratic country. Our party, though ever prepared to extend its hand of equality to all citizens, does not feel ashamed to urge the consolidation of Hindu society, nor does it suffer from an inferiority complex to acknowledge proudly that the greater edifice of Indian culture and civilization has been built most of all by the labor, sacrifice, and wisdom of Hindu sages, savants, and patriots. Can you guess? And there's a prize for it in case somebody gets it right. Who would have written this quote? Yes, sir, Lloyd. Mahatma Gandhi. Mr. Vajpayee. Ambedkar. Okay. Nehru. Come on, you can do better, guys. You'll get a signed book from Ajay in English as well as in Hindi, if that is any incentive. Maybe a dinner at Rashtrapati Bhavan sometime. So to cut the chase, I'm sorry, I can't, this is by Shama Prasad Mukherjee, and long back in the early 50s.
Yeah, right.
So if you hear it today, it would seem exactly relevant today, but the key difference is where the Bharatiya Jansangh was at the starting point in the early 50s and where the Bharatiya Janata Party is in 2024. So essential paradigm is one aspect of it that has remained constant. And yet the scale at which this organization or this management exercise has taken us is quite something. It's phenomenal. So what do you think has really been done over and above the core ideology I cited from Shama Prasad Mukherjee?
Well, apart from the core ideology, you see, there is a very wrong impression about the BJP, wrong understanding of the BJP or RSS as such. In 70s, 75 rather, 70, 75, 77, RSS opened itself to all people. So it was not confined to one particular community, though the organization, the basic principle of organization was to promote organization in the Hindu society. But nobody knows that it was open to others as well. So that happened. In 75, when BJS merged its identity with the Janata Party, that was also a new change. I mean, nobody would have thought of merging Jansangh with another entity, which is entirely different. So, in order to gain mass experience in mass mobilization, the BJS and the BJP has done lot of experiments, and those experiments have stood them in good stead most of the time. So that is number one. Second, BJP, contrary to the perception, it has the capability of adapting itself to new situations. In evolving situation, it adapts itself. So even VP Singh's movement, if you could recall, okay. So even VP Singh's emergence of VP Singh was not isolated. If you remove BJP, VP Singh's emergence was not that important. Its alignment with the BJP and the left, both, it helped him a lot. So they have lost no opportunity to gain mass experience and mass mobilization. At the same time, they remained true to their ideology. If you could recall, I have mentioned in this book that there was an alliance between BJP and Bansilal. So if anybody who had read about emergency, I don't know how many of this audience would know about emergency. And
Yeah, they're all very young.
very young.
So they assume emergency never happened.
So in emergency, Bansilal was the key figure. And when the BJP had an alliance with Bansilal, it did not dilute the BJP's identity. Similarly, in Himachal Pradesh, when they allied with Sukhram, the taint of Sukhram did not affect the BJP. So that is the strategy which has helped the party grow.
Right. So we are open to questions in case you want to ask why Modi, what is the future. There is a section in the book that talks about how it will pan out even after him. There's a mention there. Is Madhavan? Are there mics to be passed around, or Madhavan doesn't need a mic though?
I don't need a mic, but Ajay, I'm tempted to ask. I know I'm a gate crasher here almost. Yeah, the thing is, you mentioned co-option as a strategy, which is understood. But you also mentioned the identity being intact in spite of co-option. But there is something called principle of morality in politics. So whether it's Bansi Lal or Sukhram, or right now Ajit Pawar, or even Hemanta Biswa Sharma, if you look at the personal political history and corruption allegations and all these things, it seems what you call co-option is nothing but unprincipled compromise to the critics. So how do you reconcile that? Because that's what I even was saying on Twitter the other day. If what is wrong if a Dalit leader who has been part of an oppressed part of society for thousands of years suddenly becomes corrupt? For them, corruption is maybe to a Dalit leader what co-option is to you. Do you have the moral courage to accept that? And where do you draw the line that I won't cross this? And why can't people judge you based on that?
So I will like to just point out that the book is not about justification of Modi.
But
It is
he
more
mentioned
about
that.
Explanation of Modi's rise and the context.
It's the question in very simple English is, does co-option involve principles apart from the strategic pursuit of power?
No, you're right. I would refer to Ashish Nandi's comment, if you could recall that, about Dalit and corruption, so which caused lot of uproar then. So, I'm not talking about corruption and principles as such. What I'm talking about is that for certain strategic reasons, you have been co-opting certain people and you are not allowed the taint being influence you. It doesn't influence you. It doesn't affect you adversely. So that is the point I was trying to make while writing this book. I didn't say that whether this is right or wrong. I'm not going into ethicality of it. What I'm trying to say that these are the strategies employed to expand the party. So it was about party building.
So you look at it as a corporate veteran that you are of taking over a company and then taking over the company's culture in your own way without letting it flow back. So that sort of context.
Employ different moralities to assess corporate and political behavior. So you expect politicians to be statesmen, but corporate leaders only to be profit makers.
Not really. You've
Now the Gandhi is being taught in the management study as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one quick question, specifically on the connect with corporate succession planning. I think one thing that, I have not read the book as yet, but I understand that the creation of the Margdarshak Mandal, trying to get older leaders out so that the succession pipeline has opportunities for younger leaders is one of the hallmarks. How would you kind of evaluate Modi's succession planning as a gift to the party? And has that been a big significant differentiator versus other parties, which tend to have pre-appointed successors by birth, so to speak?
Well, I've been asked this question many a times, but my response was that since this book is not about who after Modi, it's not about that. But what I was trying to say that the kind of organization he has built, it will take decades. I mean, the dominance of BJP will continue as a pole for decades to come. So it doesn't mean that I'm not saying that in future they will not lose election. They might lose election, but the role of the principal pole in Indian politics, which has been played by the Congress in 50s and 60s, that role has now been assigned to BJP. So that was my point.
Thank you.
Right. So the last para, sir, of this book, in my opinion, answers some part of our query here, if I may. As of now, the BJP has successfully filled the vacuum caused by the exit of the Congress as a national party. Unlike the Congress, which has degraded its vast organizational network and rendered it effete, Modi ensures that the organization is not a political expedient for the government. He has created a unique harmony between government and the organization, which has never existed before. This predominant political position is unlikely to be unsettled in a post-Modi phase, as he will be leaving behind a robust political structure that will keep on creating its own icons at that time.
You're right.
So in a word, the author has sort of given them a chance, even post-Modi. Yes, any others who want to pitch in? Yes. We will give preference to the back rows, but so far the front rows are dominating. And women will come first, as they should, all time. Yes.
So, sir, I've not read the book, but just a question, like this, the way the corporates are looking at including diversity, including people from various facets of life. It's not only women, but also PWD and the LGBTQI and the entire gamut of diversity, which we feel as corporate leaders that's going to help us grow the organization. Do you think for a political party also a larger representation of all these facets would help them grow better, feel more inclusive, and be able to do a better service to the nation?
Sir, you see, the method of representation is your numerical strength in the House, Parliament. And once you represent the majority, it is deemed as if you are representing the entire country. So any political party which has majority in the parliament, it would be wrong to say that this party doesn't represent the diversity. It may not be representing certain part of the country, but it's all right. That is what we have. So, of course, I mean, you're right that nobody would say that diversity should not be represented. But I think implicit in this question is that there are certain political parties which do not represent diversity. That would be the wrong inference, I believe, uh, because the current system is if you have numerical strength, you have the majority, then you lead the government. So, I mean, if a government is led by majority, so how can we say that it doesn't represent diverse view? It represents diverse view.
That's the point. No, it's good sometimes when people can't hold back. It's good. Shows engagement.
I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
seeing the contradiction because when we speak about diversity and inclusion in corporates, then it's not just that you have a majority, it's about actually including people from different castes, different religion, different gender, LGBT, everything. So shouldn't the same principles hold true for any political party?
Corporate doesn't go by the democratic setup, I mean, democratic processes.
Sir, all the more important. All the more important in nation building.
No, but what kind of alternative structure do you have? You have to have elections, and elections are the only means through which you can express that.
I totally agree with you, 100%. But just like we have now passed a law for reservations to women, that has been done with something in mind, right? Because you need inclusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So similarly, what I'm saying is for any political party to progress, flourish in the long run, majority you may always get, or any party may get it tomorrow. My question is, shouldn't actually there be a representation to different sections of society? That's all.
of course there should be. Nobody would disagree with this view. Of course, of course.
After all, the entire independent movement was based on social reform. Rather, Ram Mohan Roy and Netaji, Swami Vivekananda. Today's politics is based on yesterday's social reform. You see anywhere in history.
Sir, this representation of women, that bill, it's a step in that direction only.
Yeah, Raj just wants you to push it
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
next
Raj,
level.
yeah.
Also, I think the disadvantaged and the exclusion of certain things which we had taken for granted for decades in the post-independent India. Today, the integration through, say, digital tools, the way in which the Ujjwala scheme is reaching women, or direct benefit transfer, bank transfers, they are part of the inclusion process. So it is partly electoral, but part of it is welfareistic at a level that has been ensured by certain pillars, including the whole distributive justice and digital. Right. So I was wondering, Ajay, if we can just push you a little bit outside the boundary of the book already. How do you think you would have had an epilogue, let's say, on the Ram Mandir? How would that help the BJP in the current dispensation in terms of inclusion and getting more people to believe in what they intend to do?
So
Would you
no,
have written about it, and what would you have written?
No, in my present assignment, I would not have written about it, and I would rather not talk about that, because I mean, in terms of politics, political gains or losses, I'll not say anything. But what I say about Ram Mandir, I have been reporting on that event since 1987. This resolution of the dispute,
Correct.
that has happened through a due process of law. So when the dispute is resolved, when the Supreme Court gave the verdict and the temple is constructed, the matter ends. If you were to ask me whether it will gain politically, or I mean, it will be a gain for some party for politics, I would not say anything about that, but I have my doubt on that, because
So, the question really, let me try and rephrase. The fact that the courts did, I mean, he could be a lucky general, that it happened during his tenure, which is not entirely the case. But important part is that something actually was built in a record time and brought, millions, including those from South India and areas which don't necessarily add up to the whole Hindi heartland argument, to that place. And the whole mood in the country, are you able to, capture that in some way to help us understand what's happening?
No, you see, when as a reporter, I had never imagined that in my lifetime I would see that abrogation, not exactly abrogation, but cessation of Article 370, and I would see that this Kashi Vishwanath corridor would change to a great extent. And I would have never imagined that I would see Ayodhya temple, because resolution of the case back then was appeared to be, it was, I would not have imagined that. So you're right, and all those issues were part of the BJP's manifesto. So of course, if you see the party's point of view, they have cleared two parts of the manifesto. UCC remains. But that was the part of manifesto. In terms of political gains, I don't know.
Yeah, but a great amount of execution bias is
Yeah,
evident
execution is there.
in the
Yeah,
manifesto.
of course, of
really,
course.
Which is what makes it a very big management lesson for us, that he's able to actually translate words into outcome.
Yeah, somebody told me one day that all the issues in the manifesto, which were which were then thought to be impossible to attain, now they have been implemented. So we don't have anything left.
So there's plenty, I'm sure they'll throw up in the next few days, if not few weeks. Good, so we are almost out of time. We could give you more time to ask a question or two to Ajay, or we could break faster so that to be kind to the next session.
Very short question, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm here,
one
sir.
hand here and
पीछे हूँ सर, पीछे वाले दिखते नहीं हैं।
बिल्कुल दिखते नहीं, आपके लिए ही तो हम हैं यहाँ।
सर, तो जैसा आपने कहा सर, आर्किटेक्ट ऑफ द न्यू बीजेपी एंड वी ऑल नो दो से कहाँ पहुँचे हैं, तो जिसने पहुँचाया, एक छोटा सा सवाल सर, मोदी का बीजेपी या बीजेपी के मोदी, आप क्या प्रेफर करते हैं?
नहीं, दोनों को अलग करके देखने का कोई हमें लगता नहीं है वजह, क्योंकि एक तो न्यू बीजेपी अगर हमने लिखा है तो इसका मतलब कोई नया बीजेपी आ गया ये भी नहीं है, ये कॉन्टिन्यूटी है। मतलब जो पहले का जनसंघ था और जो बाद का बीजेपी, जैसा हमने कहा अभी कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल मैन बीजेपी में बहुत रहे हैं। दीनदयाल उपाध्याय, कुशाभाऊ ठाकरे, एल.के. आडवाणी, ये सारे लोग थे, तो ये कॉन्टिन्यूटी में है। हाँ, इतना ज़रूर है कि बीजेपी के जो जोग्राफिकल, हम आपको बताएं तो हम लोग बीजेपी के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स में जाते थे, जो मीटिंग्स होती थी, तो उसमें हमेशा ये होता था कि जोग्राफिकल बाउंड्रीज हमारी ब्रेक नहीं हो रही है। यानी कर्नाशा रिवर जो बनारस के आगे है, गाज़ीपुर के आगे, उसके पार बीजेपी नहीं जाती थी और विंध्या के पार नहीं जाती थी।
करेक्ट सर।
ये कंसर्न हमेशा था। वो कंसर्न 14 में ब्रेक हो गया। तो हमने जो किताब भी लिखी है वो इसीलिए लिखी कि ये एक्सपेंशन कैसे हुआ और कौन से वो मेथड्स थे। लेकिन इंडिविजुअल के टर्म्स में अगर आप देखेंगे ना, तो इवन गांधी जी के साथ नहीं हुआ ये। कांग्रेस गांधी जी का या गांधी जी का कांग्रेस, ऐसा तो हुआ नहीं। तो इंडिविजुअल को पार्टी से मर्ज करना वो एक बार इंडियन हिस्ट्री में हुआ है, और वो कोई बहुत अच्छा वो नहीं था, फेज नहीं था।
राइट सर, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू। लास्ट क्वेश्चन।
Hello, sir. 2024 is an important year for the BJP and the country at large. So, sir, if you have to do a SWOT analysis for the BJP, we all know what the strength would look like, but what about the other three pillars? What do you feel what they would look like for the
I'm not supposed to do that.
So we're comparing it with management lessons. So SWOT is something that we do regularly for all our clients. I mean, it's like a big time for.
No, I'm not. Well,
Even if your perspective, sir, I would just like to know.
I'm not supposed to give my perspective on elections, impending elections.
It's a fair question, though. Okay.
Thank you.
So we are leaving the stage 2 minutes and 42 seconds earlier than we are supposed to. Thank you very much. You've been an excellent audience. And like I said, the book and the author are here for a few more minutes. Thank you very much. Back to the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Singh, for sharing your insights, and Mr. Bansal for the conversation. I request Sarika Chauhan to please present both the gentlemen with a Sparkle gift card each. Thank you both for your time.